You know what that sound is. It's time for more Wrestling with Power right here on this November the 6th, 2025. I'm Mr. Mosley, as always, joined by my illustrious co-host right over there. His name is Slick Vic, and Slick Vic is going to tell us what we're going to be talking about tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Mosley. Yes, this is Slick Vic here, and tonight it's a very spooky episode of SmackDown because it's from Halloween night, October 31st, 2025 at Salt Lake City, Utah. In fact, most of the show, this next show, Saturday night's main event, is also emanating from Salt Lake City. And then we'll also be covering Monday Night Raw from the 3rd of November in Rio Rancho, New Mexico, which I believe they said is their first time there. So let's see if it's any good.
So a couple of nights with the Mormons, and they had to get out of there. That's all they could stand, I guess.
Well, Becky said they got some good meth, I think. So
Nice. So yeah, we're gonna be talking a little bit. Like I said, we got a full show tonight of wrestling this week, and as far as anything extra, we don't really have a whole lot of that because we got so much content to go over. But one thing that we do have to talk about, of course, is the results of Slick Vic's picks. He made some picks for Saturday night's main event, big 4-match card there. And we did those picks last week. We're going to be talking about those picks as we go through our Saturday night's main event review here in just a little bit. First up is going to be the SmackDown review, and I think I'm bringing... Am I doing the SmackDown review again this week, Slick Vic?
yes, you are.
All right, good deal.
You get to call the scary episode of SmackDown.
Yeah, it was pretty scary, let me tell you. Man, and well, side note, this was not a very exciting week in wrestling. I'll just go ahead and put that out there. WWE this week was a little bit of a snooze fest. I was a little bit annoyed by a few things that was happening, but there were some high points, so, it wasn't all bad. But before we do that, before I jump into the SmackDown review, Slick Vic, let's take a look at Vic's gimmick, what he's got over here on the table, as per usual. Vic is bringing us a special item here. He's, if you watch on YouTube, you can see for yourself. And oh my God.
Have the lamb stop screaming, Clarice.
That is Hannibal Lecter.
Sure is. The Anthony Hopkins version, at least. Yeah. And this is from Silence of the Lambs. As if you've all seen that, it's a good one. In fact, Mosley, I am 7 of 8 episodes into Monster, the Ed Gein story. And do you remember the technically the villain of this movie was also inspired by Ed Gein? Have you ever seen Silence of the Lambs? I did not know that.
I've seen Silence of the Lambs. I didn't know he was inspired by him.
Not Hannibal. The Buffalo Bill character, the one that does the dancing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, he's in there. He's in the show.
Yeah, I know.
They actually show him recording the movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of points. Did you get to the part where they were doing the Texas Chainsaw Massacre? Where the guy? Yeah, that was really cool. I like that a lot.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm only one episode away from finishing it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think it's all right. The show has like a very polarizing reception.
Yeah.
I love the bits with Psycho, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and Silence of the Lambs. But I'm not too familiar with the lore, so to speak, the accuracy, because I know that was a big bone of contention.
It is, and they embellish a lot, and they take a lot of creative liberties. So that's one of the things that people aren't that excited about, but I don't know. Who knows the true story, and maybe that's the problem, that like the true story should have been good enough to make a show out of. You don't got to do all this extra stuff, but maybe it wasn't. Maybe he was just some kind of loner that did some weird shit in his house, and there wasn't a whole lot of cinema to it. So they had to figure it out.
Spice it up, so to speak.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Maybe with a beefy, spicy Slim Jim table in there somewhere.
Yeah.
So,
Oh yeah.
yeah, good show. Good show. I definitely enjoyed it. I appreciated it quite a lot, even for its flaws. But you've got a Hannibal Lecter over there. Now, that is so is that just sort of a statue? Is that an actual action figure? Does it come out of the restraints and everything or
Yeah, actually, it looks it looks like you can get him out of the yeah, he does come out.
okay.
Yeah,
But he doesn't come out of the oh, so they're not even okay, I see what's going on here.
but yeah, he does not come out of the straight jacket.
Okay.
He just comes in and out of the gurney or the yeah, I guess it's called a gurney or
Yeah.
dolly, whatever you want to call it.
Dolly, yeah. Pretty sweet, pretty sweet. I
Yeah.
like that. All right, Slick Vic. Well, let's talk about some SmackDown. Let's talk about some wrestling here. All right. And again, I'm going to be bringing you the Halloween night episode of Friday Night SmackDown. And as you mentioned, Slick Vic, SmackDown this week came from Salt Lake City, Utah. Fortunately, I thought this was kind of cool. WWE had prepared some Halloween-themed graphics around the arena. You could see some decorations.
Yes.
The
I love the
the
design of the
announce
stage.
the announce table. I didn't notice the design of the stage until like later through the show. I don't remember whose entrance it was, but somebody came out and I was like, "Oh, they got skeletons and pumpkins and stuff on the stage." So I didn't notice that at first, but yeah, really cool. And they had the announce tables, you know, spiffed up with all the decor. So yeah, I was pumped about that. And by the time the show ended, I was I was happy that they actually kind of played into the fact that it was Halloween night because the rest of the episode ends up being dog shit. Fair warning. So we start out before the intros are done. Before the announcers are done, the SmackDown music's still playing, and Tiffany Stratton comes out of nowhere. She hits the ring to call out Jade Cargill. And Nick Aldis shows up, and he tells Tiffany that that's not happening before tomorrow night, which would have been Saturday night's main event. Jade comes out, but Aldis has security stop the fight from happening. And that was it. That's how we start the show. And I thought it was kind of lame. You know, they didn't fight, and even if they had fought, I'm not sure if that would have been a very exciting start to the show for me. It was, I don't know. It to me, it just seemed a little lame, a little lackluster. What do you think about the opening and the decor and all of the festivities of SmackDown?
I loved the stage design as we talked about. I like when they get really into it. We here at Wrestling with Power love Halloween. In case you couldn't tell, we love to talk horror movies and we love Halloween. And I've got really nothing else to add that you hadn't talked about other than Jade looked great as Catwoman.
Yeah. Well, I didn't catch that. I'm gonna have to go back. Maybe that would have made me pop a little bit harder, so to speak. But yeah, we definitely love Halloween. And if you've not seen it, all of our episodes throughout the month of October, All Hallows month, I think I put in my notes. We always did something Halloween themed each week. It was really fun. It was a really good time. I really enjoyed all those episodes. But after this intro, we get a nice video package of the new United States champion Ilya Dragunov before he heads to the ring for a U.S. Open Challenge match. Backstage, R-Truth is dressed as Santa Claus for some reason. Well, it's R-Truth, so I guess that's why. And he's talking to the Motor City Machine Guns. Solo Sikoa shows up and talks some smack to the Machine Guns, leading Solo to say he's going to talk to Nick Aldis about a match with them later tonight. We get another little segment here. Nathan Frazier. Well, no, this isn't a segment. This is actually part of the match. I noted it wrong. My bad. The United States Open Challenge match. Nathan Frazier answers the call to the Open Challenge, but Tommaso Ciampa comes out to try and take the challenge himself. Ilya says Frazier was there first, so he gets the shot. I thought this was stupid. Why do that? Why do that? Just a waste of time. Why have him come out and then run him off? Anyway, we get to our match. United States Open Challenge. Ilya Dragunov, the champion, versus Nathan Frazier. So Frazier immediately takes the fight to Dragunov with some high-velocity offense, eventually running into a swift chop from Dragunov that finally stops Frazier's momentum. Dragunov hits a big kick to Frazier, knocking him off the apron to the outside, then follows up with a German suplex on the outside, heading into a commercial break. When we come back from the break, Dragunov continues the offense in the ring, but Frazier hits an inverted DDT followed by a shooting star press and gets a 2 count out of it. The two men trade strikes, chops, kicks for a moment, and then they have some more back and forth. Dragunov misses a backsplash. I still haven't figured out what to call that, Slick Vic. It's called the coffin drop in AEW, because one of the AEW guys does it. The coffin drop.
He jumps backwards when he does it, though.
He jumps backwards, not forward. Yeah, this guy jumps forward, so I don't know. Maybe in reverse coffin drop. I don't know. I don't know if they have a name for this thing, but anyway. Where did I? Okay. Yeah. He hits a backsplash, misses a backsplash. Frazier answers with a frog splash for a 2 count, heading into another commercial break. So we got 2 commercials during this U.S. Open Challenge match. Lame. Back again, Frazier hits a series of impressive offensive moves, culminating with a Phoenix splash that hits its target, but only gets the challenger a 2 count still. Dragunov catches Frazier on the top turnbuckle. He goes for a German suplex, but Frazier apparently went before he was supposed to, and he landed directly on his dome. So that was a botch right there.
Yeah.
A very clear botch, and it looked like it could have ended bad.
Yeah.
Dragunov hits a power bomb followed by an H-bomb, which, by the way, is best I can tell. The H-bomb is just a running elbow, forearm type thing, and he gets the win. Post-match, Tommaso Ciampa attacks Nathan Frazier as he's leaving the ring, which leads to a brawl between Fraxium and a bunch of other guys. Backstage, the brawl continues. Somehow Tama Tonga shows up holding the U.S. title. Tama gives Ilya a yeah before handing him the title back and leaving. Thoughts? I had to rewind and see that top rope German suplex botch there at the end because it was nasty. But Frazier seemed alright after the match. Solid, hard-hitting match that is so far the best open challenge in the reign of Dragunov. And I know we've only had a couple, but this was a pretty solid match, so I think it's worth noting here. Also, can't wait to see us get the match with Tama Tonga. We'll be interested to see how that one turns out. 3 gigawatts, Slick Vic, on the scale this time. They got a 1 for quality, goes without saying. Emotion got a 1. I think it's going to be hard to give anything under a half for any match that Ilya Dragunov's in as far as emotion goes. Result got a 1. 3 gigawatts. A lot of stuff there to go over. Vic, I'd love to hear your thoughts.
Well, that segment backstage was silly. I mean, kind of fun, but nah, not really. Mostly just dumb. There's even Harry Potter jokes between the Motor City Machine Guns and Solo. I thought Tommaso Ciampa coming in was a little weird. Like, I get it. They're planting seeds for an eventual tag match, I think, with DIY and Fraxium. But this whole, hey, he was here first. Oh, I was here first. You're gonna fight this goof or nerd or whatever he said.
Yeah.
Anyways,
kind of silly.
The match had a slower pace than I thought it was going to have, because considering the combatants. But then again, is Ilya Dragunov like a high flyer? Would he be considered a?
I think that's definitely. No, I don't know. That's I don't know how much he actually weighs. And I think in this day and age in WWE, the cruiserweight division is basically non-existent. So it's hard to call him a cruiserweight, but I don't know, man. He's a freak of nature is all I can say. He's awesome to watch because he can do all the cruiserweight stuff, but he's also like super aggressive and super wild. So I wouldn't categorize him as a superweight or a high flyer, but that's definitely, he can definitely do that, and he pulls it out sometimes.
I like the springboard inverted DDT by Frazier, and the atomic drop slam looked cool. There's those chops they were dealing out that were kind of awkward. The Phoenix Splash by Nathan was smooth, and he slapped the shit out of a grounded Dragunov before he went up for that before he went for that back suplex.
Yeah,
That German suplex thing that was botched. Anyways, I overall I thought it was a decent match. I would have thought it was going to be faster, but like we said, I don't think Ilya is considered a high flyer. And the brawl backstage, a whole lot of grunting at the end. I'm here with you get Ilya Dragunov going up to Tom going, and then Tom replies with yeah.
Oh, I got to get that sound bot. I got to get the yeah sound bot.
Yeah, so overall decent match.
For just a moment, I want to pause. We're doing Tama Tonga. Yeah, sound bot. I'm gonna see if I can find it. I'm gonna see if I can find it really quick. Tama Tonga instant sound effect button. That's my instance. I think this is where I got the. Okay, well, he does the yeah thing, but then it's sort of he does some other weird stuff, so I don't know about it. But let's bring it on the show and see if we get the Vic stamp of approval on this.
After all, I am the expert in yeah.
Might be. Here we go. Let's see it. What's that?
Have you ever seen Ace Ventura When Nature Calls?
Yeah, been a while.
Doesn't that remind you of that one guy that he fights and he gets like the spears in both his legs, but before he gets the spears in his legs, that one like savage like creature?
Yeah, I know where you're going with that. Yeah,
yeah, kind of reminds me of that guy. Yeah.
What is wrong with him? That stuff at the end gets me.
That's even giving me like Smeagol vibes from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It ain't as good as
yeah.
One good yeah. But all right, let's move on. Next match, Carmelo Hayes versus Kit Wilson, and this was started from last week. There was a challenge made, and I'll just go ahead and tell you, I gave this build a 0 because to me that doesn't warrant a build. They just sort of had a little confrontation last week, and now it led to a match. It's not really anything big. This match started so quickly and was going 100 miles an hour by the time I could actually start paying attention that my notes picked up with Carmelo Hayes outside the ring where The Miz shows up and he throws Hayes into the ring post. Then throws him back into the ring where Wilson hits, and this is like end of the match stuff. Miz shows up, throws him into the ring post, tosses him back in the ring. Kit Wilson hits a splash and only gets a 2 count. Then Carmelo is able to hit the first 48 on Wilson for the win. Post-match, The Miz hits the ring and flattens Carmelo Hayes with a skull-crushing fatality. Skull-crushing finale.
Fatality.
Nothing really to say here, Vic. The match happened so quickly that it could have just not happened at all, especially if the goal was to further the Miz versus Carmelo feud. I'm sure they could have saved time by figuring out a quicker way to do that. I gave it a 1 gigawatt. There was 1 gigawatt for result. Everything else got a goose egg. What'd you think of it?
First thing, I was kind of surprised that Kit Wilson didn't win. Not because this is like his first match in forever, but the Miz's interference I thought would have clinched his victory.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially since he went up and hit that top rope elbow drop afterwards.
I thought so too. Yeah, it made him look extra weak by getting that kind of help and then not being able to win it.
I thought that was a pretty decent elbow drop that he dropped. That Kit Wilson dropped. There's gonna be a lot of elbow drops later. I have a question queued up for you about that later.
All right.
But what's it called? Run of the mill match. just kind of there to, what's it called? Build up this Carmelo Hayes and the Miz feud. But I will say this: me being surprised that Kit Wilson lost shouldn't be too off the nose, because he is kind of a comedic heel jobber anyway. So
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, he's stuck in that rut for sure. Following that, we get a backstage segment. Flair and Bliss are interviewed prior to Bliss's match with Nia Jax. A nothing segment. Another backstage segment. Nick Aldis asks Cody if he had anything to do with the attack on Jacob Fatu last week. Cody says no, and that he likes Jacob. Okay, fine. Then we go to a match. It's the match between Nia Jax and you-know-who Bliss, that I cannot say her first name right at this moment. Nia gets the early jump on Bliss, throwing her post-to-post with follow-up splashes. Bliss hits the ropes but runs into Nia as if she hit a brick wall. Hilariously, Bliss's leg flies up as she falls from the impact and kicks Nia squarely in the undercarriage. I don't know if you caught that, Vic. I was going to take a video of it and send it to you, but it was funny. Bliss eventually gets some offense in on Nia, ending with a head scissors throw and several kicks, knee strikes, and a running body press for a 2 count. Bliss goes for what seems to be a front face buster, but Nia just falls flat on her ass, to which Cole says, whatever it was effective. Nia retains the advantage with a Samoan drop. Jax drags Bliss over to the corner and climbs the turnbuckle for an annihilator, but Flair causes a momentary distraction that allows Bliss to knock Nia down, followed by a drop kick and a stacked up pin for the win. Thought it was kind of a lame match. I probably made it sound a lot better just then than it was actually watching it.
yes,
But Nia dominates for most of it, but she's so slow and sloppy that her offense comes off as hardly believable anymore. I'm glad she lost. She deserved to lose. Fuck Nia. This was just a bad match all around. What else can I say? It got a 1 gigawatt for result, 1 point. Want to thank Tab Adams 13 for following us right here. That's on the old Twitch account. I think I know that gal. I think I know her. I think I've met her a couple of times before. Good gal.
yeah, she's cool. She's all right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I built her up for you to just cut her down there, Slick Vic. Yeah, she's all right. Any thoughts on this match, Vic?
If I have one thing positive to say, it's Corey's commentary was hilarious. No, the match sucked. Nia is boring to watch. Alexa's in-ring work is not really her strong suit either. There was like an early spot where Nia hits like an avalanche, and it just looked awful. The match went way too long. Yep. Alexa wins after kicking Nia off the ropes and then rolling her up. And okay,
That was such a lame pin. She rolled her up. She folded her legs all the way over top of her head. Nia is about 15 times larger than Alexa. Why couldn't she just throw her off with her legs? Like, I don't understand. Like, some of these things are just silly, right?
Yeah, but I was actually surprised that Nia was able to fold that far back, because I can't even fold that far back. And
I was too. I had some intrusive thoughts when that happened, but we'll talk about that another time.
But overall, my rating for the match is skip.
Yeah, bathroom break. For sure. Backstage segment after this, Rey Fenix runs into the MFT backstage. Solo asked if he wants to fight, and Rey Fenix says no. Solo then tells him to go trick-or-treat or something. And Fenix comes back and stands on a box to be taller than Tala Tonga and says he wants to fight him. Solo laughs and says, all right, next week, it's Rey Fenix versus Tala Tonga. Fenix says good, slaps the taste out of Tala's mouth, then seemingly heads for the hills. Thought it was a good little segment. I thought Rey Fenix hopping on that box to be tall enough to talk straight to Tala's face was a nice touch. And the slap at the end, awesome. I can't say that I'm expecting much from this match, but I do want to see it. That segment made me want to see this match. So good on those guys. From that, we get a pre-recorded segment. Damian Priest says he doesn't hate Aleister Black after all he's done to him the last several months. Priest says it's personal for him too now. The rest of my notes say blah, 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 moving on. Any thoughts on these couple of segments here, Vic?
Well, I thought the segment where Ray Phoenix grabs the chair was a little weird. Like, he like walks off and comes back with a chair, gets on top and says, I want to fight you. I'm like, is that supposed to make Ray look cool, badass? No, I just made him look like, let me get my step stool and, put up my
Yeah, but that's what I loved about it. I thought that was hilarious.
Okay. The Damian Priest video package is all right. I mean, WWE, like I said before, they do a good job. It's nothing to blow me away or anything. But I did like the WrestleMania video package with the them all sitting at the table, the poker table.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You like that?
I did. You didn't like
I
it?
thought that was kind of lame.
Yeah, they're all sitting at the table. They're all kind of dressed in unique ways.
Well, I'll tell you this. They teased it for a while. They were showing people's like walking, and it's like more people walking, and they work this up to be some kind of big tease, and it's just this WrestleMania trailer that doesn't get it. The WrestleMania trailer didn't get me excited to watch WrestleMania, and it made me feel bummed out that the teases beforehand were not something more than that.
I see. I didn't watch the teases. Maybe that's why I wasn't so upset about it. Because I know a lot of people were kind of like, "What the heck?"
Yeah, people were thinking it was like Jericho. People were thinking it was, I don't know, just different people. Like Gunther coming back, and then it just ends up being this commercial for WrestleMania. So, I don't know. A little bit let down by that.
It was going to be Veer Mahan.
Veer Mahan. Oh, my God. Veer Mahan.
Do you remember that?
Yes, I remember it. I remember watching it and thinking, this is going nowhere. Nowhere. From the very beginning, I'm like, this is a big waste of money and time. And it was. Veer Mahan.
Quick little side story. I remember going to a Raw in Chicago maybe a couple years ago, and he had a dark match on that show.
A couple of years ago?
Yeah.
I thought it's been longer than that since we've seen from old Veer.
It had to have been around like 2022, maybe 2023.
I don't know.
It was, yeah. I remember that. I remember that night because, wait, this is when they were teasing Cody's return to WWE.
They were teasing that?
Yeah, you remember the build up to This was during the build up to WrestleMania 38. Was it 38 when Cody came back? Yeah, WrestleMania 38.
I don't remember them ever openly teasing his return.
Well, they had Seth Rollins like beg for a WrestleMania opponent, and every time Seth would come out, the crowd was cheering. I should say the crowd was demanding it. The WWE never openly said, "Hey, it's going to be Cody," or it might be Cody. But it was heavily rumored at the time that Cody was coming back to the WWE.
I do remember it being heavily rumored, and I remember him begging for an opponent and going to Vince McMahon, and Vince being like, "I have you an opponent," and then it being because Cody was in AEW at the time, and he was one of the big wigs there for a while, and then he left, and he posted that he left, but everybody thought it was a storyline. They didn't know if he actually left or not. So that was actually really good.
What I remember most about that night in Chicago was the show opens with Stone Cold Steve Austin's theme song. And we all jumped out of our chairs. It was like, holy shit, Steve Austin's here. No, and it was just Kevin Owens dressed like Steve Austin.
Yeah.
Like, we got fucking trolled so hard because, we all, like, we were, as famous podcasters, we were throwing babies in the air. We were so excited.
You do a Gene Snitsky there. All right, let's move on, Vic. Is that all you have for those segments, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right, good deal. Tag team match. This is the one that was just made a few moments ago. Well, not the one that was made a few moments ago, but the one that was alluded to, I guess, maybe. I don't know. The MFT were back there, so maybe, I don't know. Maybe I'm completely wrong. Motor City Machine Guns versus the MFT. The MFT members, JC Mateo and Tama Tonga. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Best member of the group, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. So
Yeah.
JC Mateo runs over Alex Shelley for most of the first few moments. God, this is the same thing. They're milking the hot tag to Chris Sabin. Once Sabin finally gets in, he takes the heat to both of the MFT members. But Tama eventually manages to hit his finisher. I'm not sure what his finisher is called, but he manages to hit his finisher for the win. What is it?
The cutthroat.
Cutthroat. Yeah, the cutthroat.
The hidden blade, as Will Ospreay calls it.
Yeah,
I believe it's the same finisher.
I think so. It looks very similar. Yeah,
the cutthroat.
And that was it, man. Tama eventually managed to hit the finisher for the win. I'm sorry that my notes are not extensive for this match, but I kind of fell asleep during it. It wasn't a very long match. It wasn't very memorable, and I think they really messed up by having the Motor City Machine Guns lose after having them win just last week. I understand not wanting the MFT to lose clean and look weak, but in this situation, Vic, I would have been okay with a DQ or some kind of shenanigan finish if it would have kept the Motor City Machine Guns from taking a fairly clean pin here. You know what I'm saying? Keep both teams looking strong. But that's not really what happened. This might be the lowest score that I've given a match so far. I gave it a 0.5 gigawatts. It got a 0.5 for quality. And nothing else. I hated there was no build, no memorable moments, no emotion. The results sucked. 0.5.
You mean the Harry Potter jokes at the start of the show didn't get you psyched for this match?
They didn't do it for me, Vic.
So I guess they have to cast a better magic spell.
They didn't get me, brother.
Well, I have to back up for a second because there was a segment with Chelsea Green and Julia where that sets up a match for next week, and then there was this great little jump scare where Nikki Cross just showed up behind them. It was hilarious. I don't know if you caught that.
Yeah, I caught it. I forgot to note it. Yeah, but yeah, I like that part. Yeah,
that was funny.
Yeah.
But the match itself between the Motor City Machine, I have MCMG versus MFT on my notes here. The Guns offense is great to watch as always. You know, so many moves to call that I didn't even bother writing them down. And, you know, I like this a lot better than you did, I think, because I think the MFT didn't look half bad because Tama Tonga can go. I like Tama Tonga. I'm not the biggest, I don't particularly care for JC Mateo or the other guy or, you know, Tonga Loa or Tala Tonga. I'll give Tala Tonga's new. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Solo's great, but Solo doesn't do anything anymore besides talk trash.
Yeah.
So it sucks that the Guns lost, but I wonder if this is going to lead to a War Games match due to all the post-match fighting. You know, we had who came out? We had Ray Phoenix come out, and then we had somebody else come out. Did we not? I know Sami Zayn was wanted to come out earlier in the night, but Nick Aldis told him not to because he's hurt. So I think it was just Ray Phoenix.
I caught that too, and I'll back you up on that. I did have that thought as well when everybody came out at the end that maybe, you know, they could do this at Survivor Series. But yeah, I mean, at the same time, I was thinking, damn, this is kind of be kind of a lame Survivor Series because it was supposed to be the Wyatts, and then you think, well, we talked about this last episode. Who's the fifth member of the Wyatts that would compete? And yeah, I don't know. Heading into Survivor Series, it's up in the air, man. I don't have very high hopes for this year's Survivor Series. Yeah. Fortunately, though, we're going to be watching a good Survivor Series here very soon and doing a little retro review on that. But we'll talk about that more as we get closer to it. And that is a spoiler, not a prediction. Is that how it goes? Not a prediction, but a spoiler.
Yep. Yeah, you had it backwards, which I think was the point.
All brakes, no gas with it. The last part of the show was a WWE title match contract signing between Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes. So these two are going to be facing off at Saturday night's main event for the WWE Championship. And we have a contract signing for that. So they get out there, and Drew refuses to sign the contract. He says it's lopsided. Nick Aldis says fine, he'll go in the back and find somebody who will sign it. McIntyre says fine, and he starts to leave, but Cody stops him. Cody agrees that if he gets counted out or disqualified in tomorrow night's title match, that he will lose the title. So that was the whole thing. And this is a tale as old as time. This is the rules. Champion's advantage. This is how it goes. If the champion gets disqualified or counted out, they lose the match. They do not lose the title. If the challenger gets DQ'd or counted out, same thing. Champion's advantage. That's how it works. But Drew didn't like this rule. So Cody's like, okay, if I get counted out or get disqualified, then I lose the championship. And after he agreed to that stipulation, Drew signs the contract. Cody then goes on a long rant, cutting a promo on Drew, saying he left WWE while Drew got fired. Drew says Cody's not going to get the last word and that the fans will eventually turn on Cody. Drew has something he says about being the real American dream, and it starts to get Cody fired up. And then he continues to get in Cody's head by bringing up his daughters, saying he should be trick-or-treating with them. And that just sends Cody over the edge. He slams Drew's head into the table. Drew retreats, leaves the ring, but hits the ring again when Cody's back is turned as he's talking to Nick Aldis, and he delivers a claymore to Cody. Then he powerbombs him through the table. I thought it was a decent end to a rather underwhelming show. I think it's good that they're making the title match tomorrow more interesting by making these stipulations, but it's kind of odd that if Drew doesn't manage to win, even with everything he wants in place, it'll make his quest for the title basically dead. I'm interested to see where this goes, to see if we get an alternate path forward, as I don't think Drew will win tomorrow. So, all that said is basically to say Drew's asking for a lot here, and he can actually, under those stipulations, could bait Cody into a countout or bait Cody into a DQ to win the title for himself. It puts the ball in his corner more than it does the champion's, I think. Whereas Drew was saying it was lopsided, whatever. But it makes an interesting match. It makes it more interesting going into it tomorrow. But it also, like I said, it makes it. If Drew doesn't manage to win under these conditions, where does that leave him? Can he keep crying about not having fair opportunities and whatnot? I mean, I don't know, Slick Vic. What do you think about this ending segment?
Well, why would Cody willingly want these clauses added to the contract? I thought that part was kind of dumb. He's like, it didn't come off as Drew tricking Cody or manipulating him. It was just like Cody's like, oh, you think it's lopsided? Fine. How about we do this? How about we do that? I'll add this. And Drew's like, yeah, sure, that's great. Let's do it. And I'm like, okay, why would you willingly want that? Why would you willingly put that out? I thought that was kind of weird. But the promo they added afterwards was good. Go on, you were going to say something?
No, I mean, and, that's just Cody trying to be the superhero. That's just Cody. They've been going back and forth for a while now. That's just Cody saying, you know what? You want those in place? Fine, we'll do it. I just want to have the match. I want to get this behind us. And, I'm going to show you type of thing. That's how I thought of it because, otherwise, Drew has a point, and that's the thing. Drew is a fantastic heel because he always, every time he comes out there and cuts a promo, he's bitching, he's whining, but he has a point. You got to say, what? He's right. It makes sense. Even though this is the age-old rule, champion's advantage, it makes, okay, I understand. Yeah, you can't really disagree with him. So,
Some of the best heels are when they're justified in their complaining, so to speak. Look at Bret Hart in '97.
Yeah.
He was never wrong. Even when he said, the United States looks like one giant toilet.
Yeah. I mean,
Anyway,
that's perfect. I mean, that makes perfect sense, really, and it makes for a really good, really interesting heel. And I think Drew is top notch when it comes to
yes.
that type. I mean, think about it. A few weeks ago, he was talking about how corporate Cody had the referee in his pocket, and the referee was doing this and doing that, and it all made sense. It wasn't just like a spot in a match that they would normally do. Like, he took that spot of the referee trying to keep him from doing something and say, why would the referee do that? So it makes sense. I think Drew is really good in that role.
Yeah.
I kind of hate that he gets, like he keeps getting so close and then comes up short, but like, and I think me and you both talked about how we would like to see him win at Saturday night's main event, but it's just a thing of he's in that upper echelon. He's being used as this main event guy. He's a really good heel, but he just keeps coming up short. He keeps coming up short, and that has led to him introducing the stipulation for Saturday night's main event, which we will get to next. But I think first, Slick Vic, we want to take a quick commercial break. And we're back from that extensive commercial break. Sorry to all our Twitch viewers who were anticipating the return of Slick Vic and Mr. Mosley. But here we are, and we're going to dive... Yeah, we're going to dive right into Saturday night's main event. This took place on November the 1st, 2025. A lot of hype going into this one. A couple of big title matches on the line. Actually, a few big title matches on the line. But I'm going to be bringing you the first couple of matches, and then Slick Vic is going to take it over from the rest of the way. But once again, we're in Salt Lake City, Utah for Saturday night's main event. And the first match on the card is for the undisputed WWE Championship. We got Cody Rhodes, the champion, versus Drew McIntyre. And once again, if Cody is counted out or disqualified, he loses the WWE title. I don't understand why they're still calling this title undisputed. Why not just call it the WWE Championship? Don't know. It's clearly disputed. Either way, we get to the match, and we get a rather aggressive back and forth in the early going. Drew tries to bait Cody into coming ringside to fight with him. Again, I mentioned this earlier, how I thought he would do this. He would try to bait him into a count out or a DQ, and he tries it, but Cody declines. Drew continues berating Cody in the ring, trying to get him to lose his cool and get disqualified. Cody does some mud hole stomping on Drew in the corner. The ref counts and tries to pull Cody off, and Cody shoves the referee. Cody nearly gets counted out outside of the ring, but makes it back in at 8. Then McIntyre gets the advantage with a slow-paced string of powerful offense, getting a couple near falls in the process. Cody turns the tides with a superplex from the top turnbuckle and gets himself a string of offense in. Cody hits a disaster kick, followed by a Cody cutter, but he only gets a 2 count. McIntyre grabs the title belt and brings it in the ring, trying to bait Cody into using it, but Cody tosses the belt to the ref and eats a Claymore kick that gives McIntyre a 2 count. McIntyre hits the ropes and blasts Cody off the apron through the announce table, to which Cody is barely able to make it back in the ring before the ref counts 10. Cody avoids the Claymore, then Cody starts to head to the top turnbuckle, but tweaks his knee in the process. Cody then is able to head up for a second attempt and lands a super Cody cutter. The two scuffle, and Cody gets pushed into the ref, which takes the ref out. Drew, realizing the ref is down, gets the title belt and tries to hit Cody with it, but misses, and the two collide and go down shortly after. Cody is able to get up and DDT McIntyre into the title belt, which the ref does not see, then follows up with a crossroads for the win. All right, I thought this was a decent match for the championship. I like the stipulation, which ends up helping make this match more interesting in the process. Cody is still able to sort of inadvertently use the title belt to his advantage, which I'm sure McIntyre will continue to rant about for the next few weeks. I sort of wanted to see McIntyre win this one, but it's almost guaranteed that the feud will continue based on how this unfolded. So we'll see where it goes. And again, Slick Vic, I did say earlier, with the stipulation in place, I don't see how McIntyre is going to get out of this unscathed. If he loses the title, if he loses the match, it looks extremely bad on him with these extra stipulations in place. But they found a way to get through it and, carry on forward, which I think this will do. So good on them. Build 1, quality 0.5, emotion 0.5, result 1. 3 gigawatts. Vic, what do you think?
Well, I was eagerly awaiting what they were going to do with this match, and there was a lot of mind games from Drew, which makes sense given the stipulation. What was Drew going to do to bait Cody to try to get disqualified? There was that one spot where the springboard cutter looked like it was supposed to be reversed. I know the belt spot was coming, but it was done well with the Claymore kick. But I also knew Cody was going to kick out. But I did like how the ref would get emotional throughout the match. Like he didn't want to disqualify Cody, or he didn't want to count him out. But Drew's pleading like, count, and you can see the ref getting getting all flustered. I thought that was a nice touch. Let's see. Overall, decent match. This wasn't bell-to-bell action, but it was mostly drama-driven, and that's fine. I was kind of actually expecting that, given the stipulation. But I was engaged for the whole thing. And the ending I thought could have been executed a little bit better, but overall enjoyable. Although, I do like the fact that Cody pretty much cheated to win.
Yeah.
By DDTing him on the belt.
He found a way.
Yeah. So that was nice. But overall, decent match. In fact, I think when I say I wish the ending was executed better, I remember I have right here like some moments felt awkward, like the springboard cutter was weird. The let's see, I'm like skipping around through my notes here, but yeah, but that's about it really. That's all I got. So moving on.
Sweet. Moving on, and again, this is part of Slick Vic's picks. Slick Vic, do you want to do these at the end of the show, or do you want to do them during?
Oh, let's do it. Do it during, man. I'm so glad you reminded me.
Oh, he's waiting for it. He's waiting for it. Well, you know what?
Can't believe you've waited.
Well, the reason I asked is because I forgot to give you a little theme music here. This is Slick Vic's picks after all, so.
Hannibal's got the crystal ball now.
All right, we're gonna do it during, ladies and gentlemen. So, Slick Vic, who did you pick to win this illustrious, undisputed WWE Championship match?
Cody Rhodes.
Yeah! And that gives you a 1+1 out of 4 so far for Slick Vic on the picks. He did pick Cody Rhodes to win this match. Moving on, we got the WWE Women's Championship match up for grabs. Tiffany Stratton, the champion. She's been champion for a long time. She's taking on Jade Cargill, and after a few weeks of suffering a nasty cut above her eye, kind of turning heel on Tiffany last week, we get to this match. And this match is, it is what it is. Jade starts out very aggressive and pretty much never lets up. She goes straight for the hurt leg with a kick. By the way, for those of you who are just catching up, Tiffany Stratton had a bummed out knee. She had her knee hurt. So that was a whole thing where, they were like, you don't need to have any kind of interaction and whatever, her knee's out. But she kept wanting to, she was baiting Jade in back on SmackDown, and now we're here at the actual match. Apparently, it's still a factor. So Jade immediately goes for the leg, hits a choke slam, followed by a pump handle-like face slam to Stratton. Jade continues the attack outside and back inside the ring. Stratton just can't get any kind of advantage here as Jade continues hitting several huge slams to the champ, followed by three consecutive power bombs and a Jaded to win the match. Wow, this was an absolutely dominating performance by Jade Cargill. Almost too much, really, considering the length of Tiffany Stratton's title reign and the multiple high-profile title defenses she's had as champion. I was left feeling kind of bad for Tiffany, but I'm glad Jade finally got this win, and I think turning her heel for it was the right move. Vic, I gave this a 2.5. 0.5 for build, 0.5 for memorable moments. There was the triple powerbomb that stands out in my mind, just the overall domination by Jade. Emotion got a 0.5, and result got a 1. So I'm glad Jade won. I will say, though, just to back up, Tiffany was champion for a long time. She had a lot of big matches defending the title, a lot of good matches defending the title. And then Jade just walks in here and absolutely crushes her. Tiffany can't get anything in this match. She just gets absolutely dominated. It's almost like a Goldberg-esque domination. 2.5 gigawatts. Slick Vic, what do you think about this match?
Well, were they trying to go for like a Cena versus Brock Lesnar match here, where, like Brock just beat the dog shit out of Cena last time and wins, and pretty much the same thing happened here. Jade beat the dog shit out of Tiffany and then wins.
Yeah.
But then they gave Tiffany a bit of an out with her knee injury, and Tiffany selling the kicks to the leg like Mr. Perfect was awesome. I think even Cole referenced it, but he said it was Bret Hart. But I know he was talking about the Hitman versus Mr. Perfect. But anyways. Jade hits big move after big move after big move and looks very dominant, short and sweet, and it got its point across well. Jade should have, I think Jade should have a dominant run. Definitely have her run over like some of the lower card women and keep building her. And I think the eventual money match is her and Bianca Belair. But we're talking about this match. I think it was, it's not a technical classic. It's not a memorable fight, but it got the point across, which was to build up Jade as a unstoppable force, rather.
Yeah, and maybe that's for the best.
Yeah, establish her as a heel.
I think in a lot of matches that we've seen Jade in, and we've talked about it right here on the show, where we've poked fun at the fact that her name's Jade, and she's still green. Where it's sort of obvious in a lot of different ways. Goldberg was green. Goldberg didn't know a thing about wrestling, but he was just a dominant force that would come out there, take a couple of hits, spear, jackhammer, win. If they book Jade like this, absolutely. It doesn't matter what her weaknesses are because she doesn't have any because they don't show them. I could see that. I just think that maybe there should have been a little bit more offense from Tiffany here, considering she was the champion, and she had been the champion for a long time. So, I see both sides of the argument there for sure. But yeah, I'm interested to see how Jade does in her first reign as WWE Women's Champion. And with that, Slick Vic, who did you pick to win this match?
Jade Cargill.
Yeah! And another one for Slick Vic. 2 out of 4. Wow, you are on a roll, Mr. Slick Vic. That's 2 matches out of the 4 for Saturday night's main event. For the remaining 2, I'm going to turn it over to Slick Vic himself, who's going to give us the rundown of what happened in these final two matches for Saturday night's main event on November the 1st.
All right, for the Intercontinental Championship, we have Dominic Mysterio versus Penta versus Rusev in a triple threat match. All right, I love the beginning where they take turns. I'm talking about Rusev and Penta taking turns beating up Dom, and then Penta and Rusev start fighting each other. Rusev hits a tremendous dropkick. I don't think I've ever seen him hit one before. He got some good height on that one. His power game is good. If he just had a bit more personality, I think he'd go from good to really good. The fight spills outside, and the luchadors, them being Penta and Dom, both do dives to the outside. But hey, Rusev scaring the kids was absolutely hilarious. Did you catch that?
Yeah, I did. I did catch that. The kid that was berating him, and he turned around and
Yeah,
that was awesome. Yeah,
the kid recoiled like 10 feet. Halloween came a day early for those two. Anyways, Rusev counters a 619 to an accolade. Penta hits a backstabber on Rusev. Rusev hits a swinging Uranagi-like move. There's a great sequence where Dom brings a chair in, gives it to Rusev, acts like he's hurt. The ref tells him it's all legal in a triple threat match. And I'm like, Dom should have known this from playing WWE 2K25 so much backstage. Anyways, Rusev hits Dom with the chair. Penta super kicks Rusev while he's holding the chair, and then uses Rusev as a springboard to hit the Mexican Destroyer on Dom. Almost like a Hardy Boys as like Whisper in the Wind was it called? Yeah. Anyways, the Penta driver only gets 2 on Rusev. The Machka kick to Penta, accolade on Penta, and then the bell rings. Rusev didn't win the match though. It was Dirty Dom's trickery. Everyone, especially Rusev. Rusev takes his aggression out on Dom. Dom eventually grabs the bell hammer and goes back in the ring, but Penta cuts him off, grabs the hammer, accidentally hits Rusev with it. Dom throws Penta and hits the frog splash on Rusev for the pin. 1, 2, 3. So much fun. I thought Rusev looked fairly dominant here. Penta got to show off his cool offense, and Dom's all around work is still very entertaining. His character work, of course, being tremendous. My favorite match of the night. I had a lot of fun with this one. I'm glad Dom won, not for obvious reasons, but I think I like this. I like to see his slithery, cowardly ways continue for a while. Did you enjoy this one as much as I did?
I thought it was pretty good. I thought Rusev really shined in this match. I thought it was great balance across the board. The power of Rusev, high-flying luchador offense from Penta, cheap tactics from Dom. A couple of downers. I don't know when it was decided that a triple threat was automatically a no DQ, but I do not like that rule. I thought it was hilarious when Dom rang the bell, tricking Rusev into thinking he won the match. Rusev's facial expressions throughout the match were great. I wasn't particularly fond of the fact that the champion, Dom, laid out 3/4 of the match with the contenders left to do all the heavy lifting. But altogether, it was a pretty decent, solid match. I gave it 3 gigawatts. 1 for build, 1 for quality, 0.5 for emotion, 0.5 for result. Simply because, and as I've said before, if this had been a one-on-one match, I don't think Dom would have walked out with the title. I think it would have been Rusev or either Penta. I want to see Penta. And these two guys, they're wrestling every Monday. Penta especially. Senior Monday Night, we've dubbed him here on Wrestling with Power. Would love to see him with the Intercontinental Championship because he's out there working, putting on clinics every single night. Whereas Dom, love him or hate him, he's doing his thing. He's doing the cheap tactics. I think, personally, Slick Vic, that the cheap tactics have ran their course. I think it's time to either he's going to put up and show that he is actually capable or hand it off to somebody else. Because, how much more can you get out of this? How much more can you get out of the cheap tactics? How much more are you going to be pulled into every Monday waiting to see what he's going to do, or every PLE waiting to see what he's going to do? I'm not sure. But 3 gigawatts here, my friend. And you called this one. Who did you call winning this match, Slick Vic?
Dominic Mysterio.
Yeah!
3 out of 4. Oh my goodness, Slick Vic, you are on a roll. And for all of our listeners who this is the first episode that they're catching, boy oh boy, Slick Vic and his crystal ball last week, they had a clean sweep, and it's heading that direction still. We got one match. We got a little bit of a segment before this, and Vic, do you have anything on that segment?
Well, there is a tournament to decide who will be John Cena's final opponent. How many, did they say how many people was in this? Was it 16?
16. The same as this episode, the same amount of championships that Ric Flair won.
I'm sure we got a woo queued up in there somewhere.
Well, there's a woo somewhere around here.
Woo!
There it is.
Yeah. Happy 16th episode, Mr. Mosley.
Happy 16th episode. I tried to look for a sweet Ric Flair gift that I could put on the show. I couldn't find one in time. I do apologize, but happy sweet 16 to everybody out there. And let's just give them one more.
Woo!
Because the 16-time, the real world's champion, Ric Flair. Truth be told, it's 21 times, but you know, who's counting?
Anyways, I think they said there's going to be WWE people, NXT, or I should say Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and even people that don't work here, like maybe TNA. I mean, they kind of work for WWE at this point. They have a working relationship.
I think that alludes to TNA for sure, and I think it alludes to Joe Hendry specifically. Some people thought that might mean Edge.
Yeah,
like Edge.
That's not happening.
I don't know if that's going to happen. I'll be surprised. I'll be pleasantly surprised if Edge comes back for the tournament.
Me too. I would not be upset, but I just don't see it happening. I don't think Edge is going to come back for a tournament. I think he might. If it was a one-off match, maybe they can work something out. But
yeah,
if it's a tournament, no way is Edge going to have like 4 or 5 matches heading into this.
What if he comes back and wins a match that puts him in the finals with Cena? What about that? Could you see that happening?
How would that happen?
Well, maybe the 16 men involved in the tournament, it comes down to Joe Hendry and Edge. And Edge, I don't know. Edge comes out and beats. I don't know. I don't know how the brackets work for this thing. I'm speculating here.
Well, Joe Hendry, I think, is a for sure entrant. It's too bad because I remember at the beginning of the year, Joe Hendry was pushing for a match with John Cena.
Yeah,
and unless he's in the tournament and he wins the tournament, I don't think it's going to happen. I don't know who is going to win this tournament. It's too early to tell. Although there is 2 matches announced, which I will discuss later on this evening.
Yeah.
But let's move on now to the main event of Saturday night's main event. We have for the vacant World Heavyweight Championship. It's called just what, the WWE World Heavyweight Championship?
Just the World Heavyweight Championship.
Just the World Championship. Between CM Punk and Jey Uso. All right. So is the crowd hating Jey? Were they booing him like right from the start, or at least after the heating?
I think so.
Not a whole lot going on in the first act of this match. They exchange headlocks and clotheslines. An early GTS is avoided, and Jey is really selling himself down outside the ring. Inside, Punk goes for a neck breaker, but Jey over-rotates and then falls down awkwardly, and Punk gets right back up and kicks him in the head, which I don't think that was supposed to happen. I don't think Jey was supposed to take that neck breaker like that, resulting in Punk just like springing up to his feet and kicking him really hard in the head. Did you catch that?
Yeah, I did. I don't know. I was confused too.
I think I was reading about this earlier somewhere on the internet where in '92, Bret Hart fought Davey Boy Smith SummerSlam. Davey Boy was, indulging in some medication prior to the match.
Indulging.
And so he forgot all the spots, and at one point,
libations, if you will.
So at one point, Brett just got so fed up with Davey Boy not being all in on this match, where he just kicked him really hard in the head to like wake him up.
Yeah.
And so I got vibes from that.
Okay.
So So then there's Jay goes for a spear, which is countered into a front face lock, which looked really weak. Punk hits a GTS, but Jay rolls out of the ring. Why wake up Jay with water? Wouldn't CM Punk still win the belt here with the countouts? Because it's a vacant world title match? I don't know. Am I overthinking this? Or
I don't know. I don't think either would win with the countout. That would be my expectation. A DQ or a countout would result in just throwing it
the belt is
out.
still vacant?
Yeah,
The belt is
I don't
still
know.
vacant?
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, because Punk frantically threw him back in the ring. Anyways, Jay finally gets some hits in. He hits a super kick, a spear, and a splash, but Punk kicks out of 2. They take forever to get up. And there was this spot where, what's it called? Punk is giving Jay a bunch of punches in the corner, and he's selling his hand after the punches. You know, that hard head of the Usos. I think even Wade Barrett talked about that. It was, throwback to the Samoans, the head shrinkers.
Yeah.
You don't hit them in the head.
What, the head
then-
shrinkers? What are you talking about, the head shrinkers? Play that real quick. My bad.
That was cool. All right. So then Punk starts using his elbow instead. Good little details there. I'll give him points for that.
Yeah.
Traditionally, you don't hit Samoans in the head. But it felt like the crowd was dead for most of this match. I mean, there was a lot of laying down, but then here Punk attempted a pile driver. Did you catch that? But
yeah,
it was he missed it. That raised my slick eyebrows because I was hoping can you imagine Punk hits the pile driver and Jay goes, "Oh, you got me, brother."
You got me, brother.
Yeet. Anyways, so Jay reverses a GTS, but Punk comes back with a weak-looking spear. Jay counters another GTS attempt into a sleeper hold, which looked good. Punk reverses that into the Anaconda Vice eventually. And then he hits the back-to-back GTS and wins. GTSs. I thought the ending sequence was decent, but this match was just not good. Both men did not look good out here, specifically Jay. I don't know if it was just a lack of chemistry or both of them just having an off day or what, but this just didn't work for me, brother.
Yeah.
What say you?
I completely look. This match, I had a fair amount of notes for this. My first line, at least one of these contenders showed up for this match. I thought CM Punk did really good. I thought CM Punk, watching the whole match was like CM Punk was trying to get Jay, come on, let's do this. And Jay was just, I don't know what happened to Jay, but he was so sloppy and sluggish during the first half that I thought for a moment something might have really been wrong with him. Maybe he had too many libations on the bus or whatever. But, I thought Punk saved the quality of the match entirely. Other than that, Slick Vic, whenever CM Punk won the title from Gunther at SummerSlam, that was such a huge moment. A huge pop from the crowd, only for it to be stomped out literally by Seth Rollins only moments later. This match, it felt like vindication for Punk, but it's undeniable that it didn't have the same big fight feel. It's a shame that it wasn't a better main event, a better match, for what will be Punk's first true WWE title reign in over a decade. But it's, I'm speaking to the choir here, I think, that we all wanted to see this happen, but I think we wanted to see it happen at SummerSlam. I think that was the moment. That was the pop. That was the big rush. Punk finally beating this monster in Gunther. When here, he was just beating somebody that he's pretty much already beat. And I don't think that this would have happened. I know this wouldn't have happened. No, everybody knows this would not have happened if Seth Rollins hadn't have got injured. Maybe they brought it forward a little bit. Maybe Rollins was going to be the champion on through WrestleMania, and then Punk would have got his win at WrestleMania, whatever. I think that they were eventually going to put the title on Punk. And then it would have been a bigger moment. But because of this, the sense of urgency, we got to put it on somebody. well, let's just go ahead and put it on Punk because we're planning on doing it anyway and people want to see it. It didn't have the same effect. And it sucks to even mention that, really. I mean, it brings the win for Punk down a notch or two, but here's hoping we get a good run either way. Eventually, Rollins will come back for the title he never lost. It would be huge if Punk could hold on to it until then. Speaking specifically of WrestleMania, I don't know if Rollins is going to be back for WrestleMania. I don't know if his injury and his surgery and everything warrants that. It would be good. But, Rollins, my God, I've been around long enough to see Rollins' entire WWE career, main roster career, a little bit on NXT. The dude is injury prone. If he's not hurting somebody else, he's hurting himself. And it's unfortunate, but I still want to see that big culmination of this feud, which seems to have gone on for years. Let's get straight to the gigawatts, Slick Vic. 3.5. This was the highest rated match of the night for me. Build got a 1, quality 0.5, emotion 0.5, result 1. I thought the right man won for sure.
Wow.
Yeah, 3.5.
Wow. This was my least favorite match of the night.
Wow.
But okay. Wow.
To
But
each their own.
You know what the best part of this show is? Well, second best part of this show.
So,
There was no commercial breaks.
I love that, man. And this was great in that they just went straight to the action. What was this show? An hour and a half long?
About 2.
2 hours, 45 minutes. You take out the Cena promo, you take out the entrances, you're getting this. I love this for that. I wish that Raw and SmackDown were more like that. SmackDown's a little bit easier because you can tell when you watch SmackDown, they kind of hurry through the extra stuff because they don't have as much time. But Raw, it drags on and on and on. And I love this show for that reason.
But you know what the best part of the show was?
What's that?
Well, my prediction for this main event
Oh, yeah?
was a certain Chicago native named CM Punk.
And he loves Giordano's Pizza.
Yeah!
CM Punk. And Slick Vic, that brings you to an astounding 4 out of 4. Wow. You know what? Last week, you were perfect. You were perfect in your predictions. And this week, and I've been keeping track, Slick Vic. I don't know if you've been keeping track. I've been keeping track. SummerSlam got you, brother. SummerSlam was a big night. There was 12 matches. You got half of them right. That puts you at a 50% overall starting out. And that's a hard mountain to climb back from that. But you are all the way up to a 68%, 22 out of 32 correct. Last week, perfect. This week, perfect. Mr. Perfect, we are to call you from now on. Let's play the... Perfect once again, Slick Vic. Wow.
Did you ever do the towel around the back and catch it like Mr. Perfect would?
No, but even to this day, I'll be chewing bubble gum and I'll try to spit it out. Yeah, I'll try to spit it out and smack it, and I miss it every time.
Yeah.
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 I still do. But wow. Okay, Saturday night's main event. In a week that was relatively weak in terms of wrestling, we had a couple of big moments. Again, just to go over the card here, Saturday night's main event, and of course, like I said, Slick Vic guessed them every single one right. Cody Rhodes retained the WWE Championship. WWE Women's Championship, Jade Cargill won her first WWE Women's Championship in a dominating performance. Intercontinental title, Dom Mysterio slithered his way out of a triple threat match against Penta and Rusev once again, and still the Intercontinental Champion. And, of course, the vacant World Heavyweight title, Jey Uso and CM Punk. Punk takes it. Be interested to see where we go from here. Shall we break before we move on to Monday Night Raw, Slick Vic?
Yeah, but I got one question for you. What was your pick? We had one difference, I believe. In
It was the WWE Women's Championship. I thought that Tiffany would retain.
Okay,
that was it. Yep, that was it. I thought Tiffany would retain because I don't remember why. To be honest with you, I did not see her losing the title on this night. I think it's because I knew that Punk would win, and I called it weeks ago. I said this is a definite win for CM Punk. Once the Intercontinental title match was announced as a triple threat, I knew Dom would slither away. I didn't think Cody was going to lose the championship, so I kind of built this entire event around CM Punk becoming world champion. You know, I thought that was going to be the big news. I also thought they could get some more leg room out of this WWE Women's Championship feud. So I didn't feel like Tiffany had to lose it here, much less in a dominating performance. But I think that's why I picked the opposition there. So that was it.
All right.
Slick Vic, clean slate. We're going to take a break. We're going to be right back for some Monday Night Raw in just a few moments. Stay tuned.
Don't miss it.
And we're back, and we are going to head straight into Monday Night Raw, presented by not yours truly, his truly, Mr. Slick Vic. Take it away.
All right. Raw is from Rio Rancho, New Mexico on the 3rd of November, 2025. The show starts with our new heavyweight champion. Look in my eyes, what do you see? I'm not going to go through it anyways.
The cult of personality.
Yeah. He gives what he calls his Oscar speech, or he's not going to go into a saccharine Oscar speech, but he says something of that nature, and he thanks AJ Lee, the WWE Universe, and then Jey Uso. Yeet. He reiterates that he's here to make money and not make friends. He even mentions that Seth is not here to sneak up on him. Punk even then swings the belt like Rollins would. Punk then basically puts over the whole locker room. Names a whole bunch of the people he wants to face because these are the greatest wrestlers in the world. And I want to see a lot of these matches. I won't go through all the names, but he mentioned a whole bunch of names. And I'm like, man, I want to see some of these matches. Anyways, the one person he didn't name is the person who came out. It was Logan Paul, which got a huge pop out of me. I was laughing. I was howling with laughter. Like, and then Punk's like starts yelling, no! You know, he says he wants nothing to do with his famous for nothing ass. And Logan really doesn't say much until the Vision interrupts. And I was surprised that Logan came to Punk's aid when the Vision started beating on him. But I didn't buy it lasting longer than 5 seconds. It lasted the end of the night. But I liked seeing the Vision beat the shit out of Logan Paul. What did you think of this opening segment?
You know, we've talked before about these speeches. Ilya Dragunov had one recently that went over like with crickets.
Come back from such adversity.
Yeah, and it was one of those where, again, going forward from Saturday night's main event, where the world title was vacant and it was almost guaranteed that Punk would walk away with it. And it just did not feel as big as when he beat Gunther. But this was good. This was really good, and I'm with you. Where he puts over the locker room, the Raw locker room. He talks about a lot of matches that I would like to see. He even calls CM Punk out at the end. Or not CM Punk, I'm sorry. He calls John Cena out at the end. Where he's like, you want to make it 18? And that piqued my interest. I'm like, yeah, hell yeah, let's get that in there. I don't think he has enough dates to do that, but nonetheless, he's doing what he can, and I'm here for it. And I thought it was a pretty good intro. I did not like Logan Paul coming out. I thought it was a big downer. So that's my take on it, Slick Vic.
Okay. Now going forward, I will say this: I don't have a whole bunch of beefy, spicy notes on Raw. They vary in quality, but I'm going to give you what I got. So our first match of the night is Nikki Bella and Stephanie Vicaire teaming up against the Judgment Day, Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez. All right. I'm going to try to be kind here because Nikki really does kind of feel out of place with the other women here. Overall, this was just a run-of-the-mill match. Sure, we got a devil's kiss, which is worth the price of admission, but this was just forgettable. Yeah, I don't have a lot to say here about this match. Maybe Mr. Mosley's got a little more intricate notes for this match.
Okay, well, I'll give you a little bit here. I got to say, Slick Vic, Nikki done well here. And I've been saying for weeks, we've both been saying for weeks, why is she here? What is she doing? We don't understand. I thought she did good. I mean, all things considered. And I watched the match twice. I actually went back and watched it a second time. And yeah, I mean, I thought she did good. I thought this was the best work I've seen from her since she came back. That said, everyone in this match put in the work. The match, it probably went a little too long. They milked the tag to Vicaire twice. Once at the start and then again after the break. As Nikki took the beat down from each of the two Judgment Day gals. But all things considered, I didn't think it was that bad. I thought, this is worthy of a 3 gigawatts. So build gets a 1. They've been building on this for a little bit. Quality got a 1. It could have easily got a half or a 0. Well, it wouldn't have got a 0 because Stephanie Vicaire was there, Roxanne Perez. Everybody was involved. That's been working their ass off. But Nikki, she did good, so it got a 1. Emotion got a half. Result got a half. So
Okay.
Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez won the match. And, like I say, that got a half because it could have went either way. So, half. 3 gigawatts for this one.
Okay. So backstage, Punk meets up with Jey Uso, and they decide they're going to team up tonight against the Vision. All I'm going to say was a bit random. Okay. And then we got Penta versus El Grande Americano. So Penta is still the highlight every week. He seems to be able to work well with most of the people here and he's in the ring with. He hit this one suplex move where he hooked one of Americano's legs over his head, which I thought was kind of unique. And he goes over with the Mexican Destroyer. I thought this is, okay match, decent match. But I'm starting to think the whole El Grande Americano gimmick is getting boring or stale. And I sorely miss Chad Gable. What about you? How do you feel about this whole situation in the match?
Absolutely on point, Slick Vic. For the match, I thought it was about what you would expect. Penta versus El Grande Americano. It was about what you would expect with absolutely nothing more added. Best part of the match was the ref winding up and throwing out Brave and Rayo. That was the best part. She threw out both of them at separate times. So she wound up twice and threw them out.
Yeah.
That was the best part of the whole match. It's not that the match was bad. It was just very, and can I get a run of the mill? 2 gigawatts. 0.5 for quality. 0.5 for memorable moments, thanks to the ref. And result got a 1.
I don't know if you caught this. Wade Barrett on commentary was like, Bravo spells his name with 5 R's. Bravo, bravo.
Yeah, I did catch that. And then Joe Tessitore, and then Wade Barrett said it, and then Joe Tessitore was like, "Oh, that's rolling them R's for a British guy. That's pretty good." Yeah, I can't do
Anyways.
that. I can't do that.
You can't? Oh, My wife can for some words.
Well, you're supposed to put your tongue behind your front teeth, like something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
But I can't do that in a sentence. But with my throat, I can. Bravo. So I
Okay.
can do it with my throat. I can't do it with my tongue. I used to have problems with that in Spanish class. So he wouldn't let me
You
do it
know,
the way I wanted to do it.
in Armenian, we do a lot of those. We do a lot of guttural noises where we go. I don't know if you can. I don't know if you can do that.
I can't do that. What is that again?
Okay.
Give that to us again.
For example, if I want,
You're gonna
if I want
hack
to say,
something up.
pretty much like if I want to say the word apple in Armenian, apple is khnsor.
Wow. Okay, so you know Armenian?
I do. Yeah.
What? Slick Vic, you
that
know Armenian?
Does that surprise you that much?
That does surprise me that much. You can
Yeah.
speak Armenian. Did you growing up speak Armenian with your parents?
Yeah, I did.
Really?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Wow. So they didn't teach you English.
No, I learned English from TV pretty much.
What? What? All right, this is the highlight of the night right here. So you know Armenian. So you can say anything on Armenian, any sentence.
No, my Armenian was crisp as a kid, but
Yeah.
as an adult, it's gotten because I never use it anymore.
Yeah.
I've lost some of it, so it's not perfect anymore, but I can still carry a conversation.
So our good buddy's dad. I don't know if you know this, Slick Vic, but I was at your wedding, obviously, and I sit next to our good buddy's dad, who I'm very fond of. I love him. He's great. And his wife. And I was just talking to him the whole time. And I was like, "What? This is crazy. Like, this is like an Armenian wedding. And I don't know where I'm at. And I don't know what's going on. There's a priest from Mortal Kombat up there doing the whole ceremony. And I remember seeing all the things. And I remember talking to him being like, can you read that? Can you tell me what that says? And he couldn't. His dad's like, no, I'm not that good at reading Armenian. But when we were at your house prior to the event, and he was like, me and him were like taking shots of stuff, and he was like, this is good, but it's not as good as Armenian cognac. And I'm like, all right, well, do you got any of that? And he went and asked your dad. He's like, do you have any Armenian cognac? But he asked it in Armenian, and then your dad brought out this bottle of stuff, and we just sit there and took shots on it. We were wild, man. Me and old Mr. Hagopian, we were wild.
Yeah.
You're taking shots at it, but he went and asked him in Armenian, and I thought that was so cool, man. I've always loved like languages, and I tried to learn Spanish in high school as best I could, and like I can read it if I'm reading a menu or if I'm reading stuff, like I know Spanish that way, but like I can't speak it that well. I just think that's so cool.
Okay. Yeah. Well, thank you. Yeah, I do
Yeah,
speak a
awesome.
fair bit of Armenian. So yeah, I tried teaching my wife some words, and I'll tease her because she can't roll her R's or make that guttural noise.
Yeah. How do you
So-
say wrestling in Armenian?
I don't know.
Oh no, don't let us down. Don't let us down, Slick Vic. I'm gonna Google it right now while you move on to the
Okay.
next.
So, all right. So we got a video package with the Kabuki Warriors. It's mostly about Asuka putting herself over, and nobody's ready for her, and Kairi's there too. And then Dominic Mysterio comes out to the ring, and there is huge cheers. Dominic is over in Rio Rancho, however it's pronounced, New Mexico. Dom tells the crowd to bow down to the greatest luchador of all time, and a dirty Dom chant breaks out. So he kind of got what he wanted. Rey Mysterio comes out. It's been a while. It's been a good hot minute since we've seen, Rey Mysterio. And once he gets in the ring, the crowd is still cheering for Dom. And Rey's face, like the face Rey makes when the crowd is still cheering for Dom after after Rey is like putting over all the great luchadors of yesteryear, was freaking hilarious. And what's it called? When when Dominic mentions Eddie Guerrero, Dom goes, "Keep my father's name out of your mouth."
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they start fighting. Ray still moves amazingly at his age. He's still Rey Mysterio. So I wonder if this leads to a match, or was this just a one-off appearance for now? I don't know, but the crowd still loves what's it called? The crowd still loves Dominic Mysterio, and I dig it too. So what have you found? Did you find the word, or did you?
I did. I posted it in the chat because I had to. It's really weird spelled in, like translated to American spelling. I can't read that.
Jesus. Oh man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to put that to the translator, or not the translator.
What do you? So you can't read the Armenian alphabet?
I can't read that anymore. I used to. I mean, I did. I mean, even as a kid, my Armenian was terrible. My reading was not that good.
Yeah, you could probably speak it because you got to learn how to say "I want some food," or that kind of thing. All right. So, what?
Yem Shamart.
That's wrestling.
Yeah.
All right, good deal.
I hope I'm saying it right. I don't know if there's any Armenian listeners that are going to come correct me, but
yeah, they're gonna come. They're gonna come crashing down, and it's gonna hurt inside when you.
They're gonna come get me with pitchforks and torches, man.
Yeah, yeah. All
any
right.
thoughts on the Dominic Mysterio promo with Ray?
I thought that was a really, the crowd popped whenever he said, "Keep my dad's name out of your mouth." And they were firmly in Dominic Mysterio's corner here. And I think the point was to try to be like, oh, here's Rey Mysterio, here's a legend. I don't know if it went over well. I think Dom is so over that he is over his dad. So
I know.
Yeah, it was weird for me. It was weird for me because I still love me some Rey Mysterio, but I don't know if that was a good choice by the creative team there. So I don't know. Maybe we're heading into another father versus son match. I would like to see Rey take that AAA title off of him and then go and defend it in Mexico and do what he does, because Dom's not really been doing anything with that belt. He's just been carrying it around, and I think they need to give it back. They need to take it back. So maybe that'll be a match we see in a AAA PLE. I think that would be good. I think that would be a good direction to take this.
Okay. All right. So Bailey and Lyra Valkyria are still. That stuff is kind of this angle has kind of felt like it's completely stalled. And then we got Becky, who interrupts the commentators. Like, she just gets up on the commentary table out of nowhere, and she is just big mad at the Vision. She's big mad at Maxine Dupree. She's hating on New Mexico. She makes the joke she makes the Breaking Bad joke, as I mentioned earlier. And the camera shows Wade Barrett laughing. They're not even trying to hide it, which I thought was funny. Becky cut a fiery promo, and honestly, she was talking about Maxine Dupree and Division and whatnot. I thought it was all right. And then finally, we have the match. We have the Kabuki Warriors versus Lyra Valkyria and Bailey. All right. A little better than run of the mill. These girls were putting in the effort. They had some good tandem offense from both teams. Lots of fast-paced action without many, if any, rest holds. So I hinted towards this earlier, Mosley. Who drops the best elbow? Is it Bailey, Kyrie, or Kit Wilson?
Wow, put me on the spot.
Did I leave any current competitors that drop elbowed? CM Punk is also.
I mean, there's a lot of them. CM Punk's is terrible.
Yes.
You know what? It's a toss-up between Bailey and Kyrie, but I think Bailey takes it from me personally. What do you think?
She's got the closest one to Randy's, I think.
And I think that's the measuring stick.
Yeah. because Randy soared like an eagle.
Oh my God, that's just, I can't imagine, dying and going to heaven, and then here comes Randy Savage with angel wings soaring to elbow drop me at the gates. That would be fantastic, actually. If that was true, if that would actually happen. But remains to be seen.
It's like, need a little excitement.
Yeah, art thou bored?
Art thou bored? Anyways, after all that, after the beauty of these elbow drops, we had that double corner, the corner double stomp reared its ugly head again this week from Kyrie. Anyways, the Kabuki Warriors win when Asuka locks in the Asuka lock on Lyra. Charlotte and Alexa chase off the Kabuki Warriors post-match. What did you think of this tag team match?
Man, I had some notes for this, and let me ask you this because I put some bullet points. And overall, let me just say, I thought it was a fairly average match. The aggression and sense of urgency was ramped up here, which helped the overall emotion a tad. But maybe I'm just bored with these teams already. Like, move on, do something else. Let me get to these bullet points, Slick Vic. See if this sounds familiar to you when it comes to a tag team match in WWE. The weaker teammates do much of the first half with the heel team getting the upper hand through most of it. They're milking the hot tag to the people that the crowd actually wants to see get in the match. Then the faces get the better off the hot tag. Then we get several big near-fall spots leading to the conclusion where the heels use questionable tactics to win.
Yep. I've heard that story before.
That can explain so many tag team matches as of late in WWE. And you might not believe me, or listeners might not believe me. I wrote these down before the match even happened. I wrote them all down. All three of those bullet points I wrote down. 4 bullet points, technically. Before the match happened, and then it happened, and I was like, okay. Whenever this went more than a week past Asuka slapping around Kyrie, I think that's what killed it for me. I think that once she smacked the shit out of Kyrie, that should have been the dissension. That should have been Kyrie coming after Asuka. That, I think it should have took a different direction. Altogether, 2 gigawatts. 2 gigawatts for this match. Half for build, 1 for quality, half for emotion. Actually, no. 2.5, I'm sorry. Half for build, 1 for quality, half for emotion, and half for result. 2.5 gigawatts.
Okay.
It's very run-of-the-mill as far as, like, WWE is concerned. I mean, it's like, you get, okay, the weaker opponents are going to start. The people that, the crowd actually wants to see tagged in, they milk the tag, milk it. Then they finally get in. Then the faces, the baby faces, finally, the person that they're milking the tag to, they finally come in, they beat up the opposition. Oftentimes they beat up both of them, throw them out of the ring. Then the heels come back and beat them and do some, dastardly shit to win. That's just, it's so predictable at this point. So, 2.5.
Okay. Well, I hope you're ready for 2 more of those types of matches.
Yeah, I'm not.
Okay, well, the Judgment Day are backstage. They're still bickering. I wonder when the eventual implosion is going to come. It's not going to come until Liv Morgan comes back. And then we got AJ Styles and Dragon Lee versus JD McDonough and Finn. This is a rematch for the WWE Tag Team Championships, or is it the World Tag Team Championships? I don't recall. World.
Yeah.
All right, so the match starts off very fast-paced. We got the Judgment Day do some very quick offense. We get running knees and moonsaults on Dragon. Dragon Lee comes back and hits a Hurricane Rana on JD from the apron to the floor. Around this time, I noticed there was a guy wearing a Batman mask in the front row. If you caught that, I thought that was funny. I was like, wait a minute, Batman's here. And we come back from the break. Great timing because Finn and Dragon get tagged in and they go 100 miles an hour. And then Dom shows up. There's a great counter by Finn to a DDT elbow. I don't know what they call that where he hooks the guy in like a reverse DDT and he comes around with the elbow.
I don't remember what they call that. It's like an inverted DDT.
Elbow to the throat type thing. Sheamus
Is it a
also
sling blade?
No, that's when Finn like runs at the opponent and then does like.
Oh yeah, does the thing. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know then.
Okay, Sheamus is here for a reason. I don't recall why, but he's probably here to chase Dom away and get his shillelagh back. AJ and Dragon go over when AJ hits the Styles Clash on JD. Thoughts? This was a good match. Better than the previous one. Lots of fast-paced action, some fun spots, some cameos from Dom and Sheamus. What about you, Mr. Mosley?
Yeah, about the same. I mean, about the same, man. I mean, it was, by this point, I was droning off. I'll be honest with you. Because I started thinking, damn, like, SmackDown was such a letdown. Now Raw is starting to be like, what are we going to get? Is something going to happen to perk me up in this episode? And this just wasn't it. So, I didn't even rate this one, man. I was just like, all right, let's go to the next whatever it is. So it wasn't a bad match, but it was just sort of like time filler.
Backstage, Stephanie Vicaire is leaving, but Nikki Bella comes and stops her. And Nikki apologizes for the loss and then goes on to say what I was really surprised to hear her say. Is like she thought she can come back and hang with the current women, but is rusty and making bad decisions. I was like, you don't say. I know you put her over today really strong, so I was getting ready. I'm curious to hear your thoughts.
I put her over in that match really strong, but yeah, I do have notes for that. Nikki Bella asked, "Why is she here?" I've been wondering the same thing.
So, but Stephanie cheers her up. She says Nikki's amazing and paved the way for them. I guess, sure. But I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I sense a heel turn coming. Don't
Nikki Bella.
Don't cue that up just yet. But yeah, I do sense a heel turn.
Shall we put that in the official notes here, Slick Vic? Is that a pick that we're? Okay, no, we're not going to pick it right now. We're not going to count it against you. I feel you though.
So then Paul Heyman and Jey Uso talk backstage. Heyman tries his Jedi mind trick to tease Jey into joining the Vision. So we're still teasing a Jey Uso heel turn as well. And then finally, we get the main event. We get CM Punk and Jey Uso versus the Vision. Seeing Punk and Jey team up and hit some of their trademark moves on the Bronze actually looked pretty good. We go to break, and then we come back, and the Bronze splash Punk. Braun hits two corner tiger knees and misses the third one. He went to the well one too many times, but Punk was but still Punk stops Punk from making the tag. Hits Punk with the shatter. They hit Punk with the shatter machine. I have that in my notes. Did you catch that?
The shatter machine. Okay, yeah.
That was the old FTR finisher.
Yeah, they still do it over in AEW.
Yeah. Jey finally gets the hot tag and is a house of fire. Did I lose you? Oh, no. I lost you, man.
Yeah, well, I was trying to mute myself. I accidentally uncammed myself, so sorry about that.
No worries. We're good. All right, so we had the shatter machine, and then let's see. Jey finally gets the hot tag. He's looking much better than he did on Saturday, and the crowd is firmly behind him. Both Punk and Jey hit dives on opposite sides of the ring. All four men meet up outside and fight, and then they get counted out. So the match ends in a double countout. Post-match, the Bronze destroy the babyfaces with the spear outside, a spear plus a tsunami to Jey. But then Punk chases the heels out of the ring with a chair. But then the Bronze come back and they grab weapons themselves and they can come back in. And then here comes Logan Paul. He's got brass knucks equipped. He's standing shoulder to shoulder with Punk. But of course, he decks Punk in the face and gives the brass knucks to Paul Heyman to end the show. Is he joining the Vision? I sure hope not. I heard rumors that it was going to be Austin Theory for the longest time. I don't know if that's a vast improvement or not, but only time will tell. Now, before I get your thoughts, I just want to get off. I just want to say, the problem with doing 3 back-to-back tag team matches, it just feels so damn repetitive. There was actually 4 tag team matches tonight, and you went on that rant earlier today about how they have a script to them, and sometimes it does feel that way. But even still, when you do 3 of them, 3 tag team matches in a row, it just feels repetitive.
Yeah, it becomes way more obvious. And, man, I did not like this that much. I thought it was rather anticlimactic. I know that they tried to do something with Logan Paul and the Vision and Paul Heyman and all that, but I don't think that anybody wanted to see that. I didn't want to see that. Who gives a shit if Logan Paul is joining the Vision? Nobody cares. Logan Paul is going to be there as much as he wants to be there, and it's not going to matter. He hands him the brass knucks for whatever, a future, eventually down the line we're going to see Paul Heyman slide the brass knucks to Logan Paul in a match. I don't know. I thought this was a lame-ass ending to Raw, and it goes to, back to what I said at the beginning of the show, and unfortunately I hate to kill the hype here, but man, this was just not it for me this week in wrestling. SmackDown was very lackluster. Raw was a little bit better, but oh man, it's just like they're scraping the bottom of the barrel here. They got to bring back Logan Paul that nobody really wants to see other than to see him get his ass kicked. What's going on, Slick Vic?
Well, he is a name, and we haven't seen him in a while. Whether you love him or whether you like him or not, he does draw eyeballs, and he actually does have some good matches.
Yeah, I'm not down. I'm not putting down his matches, but like he comes in once in a while, has a match, and you're like, okay, the guy can wrestle, and then he goes away for 3 months. That's not something. I don't watch Raw week to week to see Logan Paul, and that's the problem. I don't care. I don't think he's going to show up next week. Maybe he will. I don't think he will. That's my thing. The ending would have been better if Logan Paul had been a regular, recurring face on the show, but he just kind of showed up here and did something weird. And, just based on recent WWE booking, I don't know. They're going to drag this out as long as they can. And I'm not excited about it. I don't think it was a great Raw.
What separates this from Brock Lesnar? Because I know you do like Brock Lesnar.
Well, Brock Lesnar, when he came back, was big news. That was big news. Brock Lesnar has stock, and he's got controversy, and all of a sudden he's back, and then he didn't show up again for a while, which was a big mistake. I thought they killed him coming back, and they've done nothing to help that feud since. He comes back, he's hunting down John Cena. He gets to the match with John Cena. He goes 3 or 4 weeks without him showing up, and then he shows up with some weird, stupid promo in the ring with R-Truth. Then he gets to the match with John Cena. He squashes him, and now we've not seen him since. So, What is it different from Brock Lesnar? I don't think it's anything different from Brock Lesnar other than the fact that Brock Lesnar, in the world of professional wrestling, people pop for him still. And he's a big name, and you put him on the card, and it's going to draw money. I don't think Logan Paul draws money. You put Logan Paul on the card, it don't draw money. It might be an impressive match, and you might look at him in a different light and say, oh, he can actually do it. It's not going to draw money. It's not going to put asses in seats. It's not going to sell tickets. Logan Paul on the card does not sell tickets. Brock Lesnar does. That's the big difference for me.
Okay. Well, thus, this concludes Raw from Rio Rancho. I don't know when I'll be able to call another Raw from Rio Rancho again, but
probably
there
a while.
we have it.
There we have it.
before we let you go, we have the cards for next week. What do you say I quickly give you some picks? Just a quick impromptu, unofficial Slick Vic's picks.
Okay.
Where's the
I'm here for it. Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So next week we got Chelsea Green versus Julia for the women's U.S. title. And, if Chelsea's in danger of losing her streak if she loses this match, I am picking Chelsea.
Okay. And by the way, these are not official, correct, Slick Vic?
Yeah.
These are
These are unofficial.
Okay. All right. Well,
We got Ray Phoenix.
There's no Hulkamaniacs here.
That's true.
yeah.
All
There's
right.
no Hulkamaniacs here.
So
ahead.
we got Ray Phoenix and Tala Tonga. Tala's going over. Ilya Dragunov versus a mystery opponent. I'm predicting that this time it's going to be Tommaso Ciampa, and Ilya is still going to win. There's going to be more tag team chicanery. Finally, on to Raw. We got Charlotte versus Nia Jax. Charlotte's winning. They're going to have a match between the Kabuki Warriors and Charlotte and Alexa, so the baby faces go over. Rusev versus Damian Priest. This is the first match that was announced for the tournament to face John Cena. Rusev's going over. You know why? Because Aleister Black's interfering. Likewise, Shinsuke Nakamura versus Sheamus. Shinsuke Nakamura is going over because the Judgment Day interferes. They still have the shillelagh. And lastly, we got Stephanie Vicaire versus Raquel Rodriguez for the Raw Women's Championship. Now, unless Nikki turns heel pre-match, I think it's going to happen post-match because I think Stephanie retains. And those are my impromptu picks. So I will hold on to these, but they're unofficial.
Those are some good picks, man, and some very insightful information as to why you came to those picks. And ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't figured out by now, Slick Vic's picks, they don't just come out of thin air. He doesn't just pop up and say, well, I think such and such is going to win. There's a lot that goes into Slick Vic's picks. He thinks very hard about this, and then he consults, of course, the crystal ball to see if he's correct. Very insightful. Thank you, Slick Vic, for that. And I for one, appreciate it and am looking forward to seeing how all of that unfolds. For Mr. Perfect. He's no longer the Oracle. He's Mr. Perfect. That means you got to keep it up, Slick Vic.
I will try not to let you down.
Well, we've reached the end of the show. My vape is completely out of charge. And, of course, and usual, this isn't the usual because I always forget this, but we'll try to play some Undertaker gong for you a little bit. Before we go, I do want to do one thing. Because, Slick Vic, we said last week, I revealed to you the Hallmark ornament that I got in the mail. The Legend of Zelda, the link from the original Legend of Zelda that plays all of the original Legend of Zelda. And I told you, I have another one coming in the mail. And it was this year's console. They release a console every year. This year was the Xbox 360. I'm happy to say, Slick Vic, that it has arrived. Xbox 360 console. And for those of you out there, gamers, will probably be very familiar with this console. Everybody and their brothers had one. This was, in my opinion, the last time that Xbox was on top. After that, PS4 took it over, now PS5. But right here it is, Slick Vic. The Xbox 360 Hallmark ornament, complete with the controller on the side of it. And I told you we were going to reveal this when it came in, and I've got the batteries in it, and we're ready to go, so we're going to press this button. And for those of you out there, I'm not one of them. I wasn't a big Halo fan, but maybe you'll get a kick out of this. You can see I'm waiting on it to red ring on me, but it's not so far. So we're gonna press this. You can press the power button here, and it does the whole 9 yards, man. Lights up green, does the...
That looks cool, man. Very impressive.
Very cool, very impressive. Now this I'm into. You know, this is something I'm into. So this is two of them that I've got this year for this year's Christmas tree, and we may go over here in the next couple of months once I drag the Christmas tree out and I get my other ornaments. We'll take a look at some of the other ornaments. I've got several, but this is this year's, ladies and gentlemen. Again, we're not sponsored by Hallmark, but I would appreciate some of my money back if you want to throw us a couple of dollars this way to the Wrestling with Power podcast. And there it is. Xbox 360. Go out and get yours. Slick Vic. That's this week in WWE news. Is there anything that you want to add before we go play some Mortal Kombat? Because that's what I'm feeling right now. I'm a little bit toasty, and I want to know what's going on. Congratulations, by the way, again, Slick Vic. And you know what? I want to give you another one. Let's do a little bit for Mr. Slick Vic here. We're going to be playing some Fortune Teller. I don't know what's
fun music.
I don't know what's wrong with it, but I can't hear it right now. I can't hear the music playing.
I can hear it.
Oh yeah, I know you can. Yeah, I can't hear it, but I'm playing it for you. And then we're also going to give you, of course, a new moniker that you've earned. And then we're going to slide out of here. We're gonna go play some Mortal Kombat, ladies and gentlemen. Is there anything else that you would like to add? Man, fuck this ESPN stuff. All right, go ahead. I get these notifications. Fuck the ESPN. I get the notifications on my phone. My cock is 10 inches.
Well, the only thing I want to say is thanks for listening, and I wish you all the best in your future endeavors.
Absolutely. And stay powerful, everybody. Thank you all for joining in. Facebook.com/wrestlingwithpower. Twitch.com/wrestlingwithpower. YouTube.com/@wrestlingwithpowerpodcast. And of course on Spotify, where all of our episodes are available for you to go back in the archives. This has been episode 16. As in the 16-time World Heavyweight Champion. Woo! We wish you all, again, Slick Vic wishes you all the best in your future endeavors. I don't care what you do in your future endeavors, as long as you stay powerful. And we'll see you on the other side.